Bart is an unstoppable force in his world. He gets away with all manner of death-defying pranks. He barely has to face the consequences of his actions, and even Homer constantly strangling Bart does not deter the boy from his dangerous shenanigans. Maybe the only force that can stop this immovable object is death itself. How will Bart cope when faced with the possibility of death?
Bud Flanders, I thought you were dead.
I am.
For the first time in years, the Simpson family are at a loss because their beloved couch is nowhere to be found. Thankfully, colonial workers appear out of nowhere and use their expertise to craft a brand new couch for the family. It might not be the same, but at least it's there. There is no such thing as a normal day for the Simpson family, and today is no exception. Bart has set the perfect trap for Lisa. He lures her in with the promise of a test that can determine whether a person is a genius or not. Lisa pretends not to be too interested, but deep down, she definitely wants to give the test a try. Once Bart has hooked the bait, he tricks Lisa into taking the test and solving a weird, made-up maze. Lisa puts her entire focus into completing the test. Nothing can stop her from finding out if she is a genius or not. But the little girl is unaware that she has just fallen into a classic internet trap. And, as soon as Lisa reaches the apex of her focus, a scary face jumps at her, causing her to violently fall back.
Now focus.
This was Bart's mastermind plan all along. He captures the entire thing on camera, with the intention of humiliating his sister. Bart's maniacal laughter fills Lisa with rage. The boy celebrates his sister's downfall by looking at all of the likes and shares his video has received. Lisa's villain arc has finally begun, and she promises to take revenge on Bart no matter what. Bart, on the other hand, is not scared at all. He even takes more embarrassing pictures of his sister and shares them online in defiance.
And post. 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 Post.
Lisa's revenge plan is now in full motion, and she spends the rest of the day keeping an eye on Bart. As the family sits through another dull night, the raging storm outside interferes with the internet connection, and now everyone has to deal with the scary situation of not having access to the internet. Times like this truly test a person's limit, but Marge hopes that her family will be civilized and spend the time playing board games. But Lisa is not willing to play anything with her cheating brother, and it quickly becomes apparent to Marge that her family was not built to survive a night on just board games. The entire situation inspires Homer to bring out his VHS collection. Over the years, Homer has taped a lot of old TV shows, and this could be a good way for the family to replace the void left by the internet. As Homer hooks up the VHS equipment, Bart and Lisa watch gawk at the contraption. Once Homer has the VHS working, the family sits around to witness the golden days of television. It doesn't take long for Homer to fall asleep, and the VHS tape soon becomes tangled as well. The absence of the internet is felt once more, and Homer realizes that the only way to find his worth in life is by stealing Ned Flanders' Wi-Fi. So, Homer gets Bart in on the action as well, and the duo spends some quality time together by stealing the neighbor's internet.
How come all our father-son activities involve getting a TV back on?
Homer has the perfect, foolproof plan in mind. He places a ladder beneath Ned's attic where the router is placed, and he tells Bart to climb, because the ladder is not ready to take on Homer's weight. Once again, Homer uses his son's life to save his own ass, and Bart has no choice but to risk his life. But during this entire flimsy plan, Homer ends up messing up, and Bart starts to fall off the ladder. Before any serious damage can be done, Homer saves the ladder from falling, but Bart gets electrocuted by lightning instead.
You guys need jackets?
No, we're fine. Go!
Bart is now in an unprecedented coma, but the doctor is hopeful about his situation. At this point, Bart has made it out of life-threatening situations more than any other 10-year-old boy. The doctor then tells the family that they need to stay with Bart and speak nice words to him. It could help the boy come back, but Lisa believes this is the perfect time for her to take revenge. She doesn't waste a moment and starts whispering scary things into Bart's ear.
You're gonna see the one thing everyone's afraid of. Death and dead people. That's right, buddy.
As Lisa tries to make sure that Bart stays in a coma within his mind, Bart is already getting disturbed. Bart's unconscious mind shows him a strange dream in which he wakes up in his dark room. All of a sudden, the ghost of Maud Flanders charges into Bart's room and scares the shit out of the little boy as Bart's nightmare begins. Lisa is full of glee and she even offers to stay with Bart the entire time. Her torture has not ended just yet. Lisa starts thinking about how to make Bart's coma nightmare even worse, and decides to add Milhouse to the equation. In his unconscious mind, Bart is now pestered by his nasally friend, but the ghost of Maud Flanders does not leave him alone.
You've got to talk to me, Bart.
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Bart manages to get rid of Maud for now, but it's not enough. Milhouse then tells Bart to contact his therapist. Surely, since Milhouse is so well adjusted, then maybe the therapist can help Bart as well. Bart actually follows up with the advice and visits the therapist. Despite being scared of coming across as insane, Bart shares that he can see dead people. And to his surprise, the therapist does not judge Bart at all, but that's only because the therapist is dead as well, and Bart is talking to his ghost.
You're dead too?
Yeah, I killed myself 5 minutes before you got here.
This coma nightmare is definitely turning a little bit too traumatizing for a small kid, but the therapist ensures Bart that he has a unique gift. Since Bart can see ghosts and communicate with them, he can help them move on by exacting revenge on their behalf. Bart then helps the therapist play a small prank on his rival, and this allows the distressed spirit to finally go to hell. Bart realizes that he enjoyed helping out the ghost, and soon every ghost in town is hoping that Bart will help them move on. Bart's coma nightmare has now turned into an annoying job where he goes around helping ghosts with all manner of things. Back in reality, Lisa is starting to get worried about the state of his brother. She consults with the doctor and realizes that her bad words could be doing permanent damage to Bart. Lisa then tries to undo her damage by apologizing, but it seems a little too late. Back inside Bart's mind, Maud Flanders wants Bart to take revenge on Homer for getting her killed.
Ooh, a bobby pin!
Maud basically forces Bart to take revenge on Homer, even though the boy is not willing to do it. Later on, after leaving the bar, Homer is ambushed by masked men, and is hurt in the same way that Maud died.
Let's move!
Seeing Homer get hurt makes Maud's ghost feel better, and she finally moves on. But Bart learns that instead of just hurting Homer, the man is actually dead. This is not what Bart wanted at all. On the bright side, at least, he can still see Homer's ghost and try to help him. However, Homer has no unfinished business left in the world. He is ready to move on. Bart is devastated to learn that his father has no other choice but to move on. And back in reality, Lisa is devastated that Bart may actually die. In his mind, Bart tries to convince his father to stay, but Homer is at peace about his life. He has nothing more to live for.
No, my time has come. Man was not meant to live beyond the age of 39.
Bart tries everything to make sure that Homer does not stray into the light, but when all else fails, Bart shoots down the light itself and stops Homer's soul from sweet escape. Waking up back in his body makes Homer infuriated at Bart. This was his one chance to find peace.
You little life-saving, heaven-converting...
Back in reality, Lisa apologizes to her brother's unresponsive body and begs for him to come back. Thankfully, Bart wakes up just in time, and he is surprised to see Lisa waiting by his side. Bart also learns that Lisa was the one whispering scary things into his mind, thus causing all the nightmares. But he seems more proud than angry, and wants Lisa to share the trick with him as well. Later on, Bart tells Lisa that in his coma, he saw how everyone was going to die, and even though Lisa does not want to hear, Bart does not shy away from sharing this forbidden knowledge. Apparently, according to Bart's coma, Homer will die at the age of 59 by getting shot. Meanwhile, Bart will die at the age of 80 after getting run over by Skinner's wheelchair. And just like this, Bart has foreseen the death of everyone he knows, except for Maggie, who is apparently going to live forever. Very good episode. Bart was really close this time. Kind of reminds me of the time he went to heaven. To see what happened, check this video next, but not before you smash those like and subscribe buttons.